Well, good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, January 23rd in the year 2022. Hopefully it's fine, doing well. Please subscribe, like the video, comment, and feel free to share. I'm going to talk a little bit today about work, life, investing, entertainment, balance. Because I've talked to several different people recently, and I've watched another YouTube video, and folks struggle with that, okay? And we got to think about it. And the struggle isn't, I'm not sure what kind of struggle it is. Some folks like eating out a lot, okay? So they want to be financially independent, but they just can't resist. They want to socialize with friends, family, whoever, and they eat out a lot. And they spend extra money above and beyond just eating in their home. Other folks like to go out at nighttime, maybe to a club, have a few drinks and whatnot. And drinks nowadays are expensive in a club. And they just can't resist every Friday night or Saturday night. They just keep doing it. And they wonder, why don't I have money to invest? Others may like sports a lot. Like, I'll give you an example. I was born and grew up loving baseball, loving football. I was a die-hard Baltimore Orioles fan, Baltimore Colts fan, more baseball than football. But I still like football. Colts left, went to Indianapolis, and eventually the Ravens came to Baltimore. But I stayed an Orioles fan. I became a Ravens fan. With the Orioles, and when I was living in Virginia, there was a period of years where I had a cable package or a satellite package for my TV. And I would get Masson Sports, and I could watch, it was 162 baseball games in a year. And normally about 161 or 160 were actually on, say, Masson Sports. Because one or two were, like, say, on some other network that got all the rights to it. And there's some years when I just didn't have that channel, or maybe it was being streamed on some service and I didn't have, so I couldn't watch the game like that. But there was, I think, a couple years where I watched basically every single game on TV that I could watch. Okay, maybe not 100%, but when there's 162, if I watched 157, that's pretty daggone close. Okay, now what I did while watching those games, I could live life still and do different things. I could be folding laundry. I got a load of laundry in the washing machine right now, so I could be watching the Orioles, as an example, folding my laundry. I could be working on Navy courses. I did Navy courses in the Navy Reserves. I sit there. I got a picture of me one time doing a Navy course. Orioles are on TV. I'm just watching the game. Any sporting event except basketball. Basketball is fast paced. But baseball and football gets so, I'm getting tired of football sometimes because there's so many penalties, the clock stops. It's like, come on now, get on with the game. Say basketball, that whistle blows so many times. Baseball, people complain about baseball being slow, but baseball is a thinking man's game. And I won't get onto this baseball kick, but it's a good sport to watch, because as a spectator, you can do other things. And the complaint sometimes is there's two excuses. I don't have time, I don't have money, okay? This is some smooth green tea, gunpowder green. All right, but time and money. So let's say we're working a job. Let's say we have an activity we really like. It could be sports, it could be eating out. Let's say we have a spouse and we have kids and family obligations. All right, and then we have that excuse, there's just not enough time to invest. All right, let me throw this back at you then, because we're all busy. We are all busy in some way, okay? But yet, think about this. How many people have you heard, and maybe it's even yourself, complain about your job? You complain you don't like your job. You want to get a different job. You want to retire early, okay? So I've heard that a lot over the years, like just a lot. A lot of people aren't happy with their jobs. Look at how many people are quitting jobs, and maybe they get another job. They're just not happy with their jobs. Okay, so knowing that, and let's generalize, knowing a lot of people don't like their jobs, and knowing the average American would struggle to come up with, I don't know the number, $2,000 in emergency or $5,000 in emergency, whatever it might be. All right, knowing all that, we're generalizing here. Okay, remember, I'm not a financial advisor, CPA, or an attorney. So we're generalizing about a lot of things, but knowing that, why can't every single person find 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, a day to think about investing? It doesn't have to take long. It could be something just like 7 Traits of a Millionaire, thinking about your goals. Helicopter Pilot Caleb says he writes down his goals, I think, every morning and every evening. All right, you can think about goals 30 seconds, a minute, okay? You can't make a plan in 30 seconds or a minute, perhaps, but your goals, you can do 30 seconds or a minute. You got to start a habit. You just got to start a habit of doing things 21 times in a row can form a habit, okay? So you got to get a habit. So let's say I'll give you an example, and I'm biased. I usually make 1 video a day. There are days like yesterday I made maybe a 9 or 10 minute video, and there's a real estate roundtable discussion of 16 or 17 minutes. So you combine that was like 26 minutes altogether, okay? But usually I make 1 video a day. Let's say it's 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 14 minutes, okay? That's 12, 14 minutes of your life to watch something. And while you're watching, you don't have to be watching, you could be listening. You could be kind of doing something else as long as you're keeping an ear tuned into what I'm saying, because I have given nuggets all the way back to the very first video. You can find different nuggets of information that I've given you the key, as I call it, the keys to the castle. If I stop making videos today, you have enough information in my videos to become a successful investor who could become financially independent in 10 years. All right. And I want to stick with this, that financial independence within, am I saying it right? Within 10 years. I think that is possible for the majority of people who work a job. Notice I'm saying who work a job. You got to work a job. All right. I understand jobs sometimes pay more, they pay less. I understand people live in expensive areas, they live in cheaper areas. I understand all that. There's variables across the board. So that 10 years is not for everybody. But for the majority of folks who work let's say they're not working a low paying job, they're working an average. The average salary in the United States is $45,000, $35,000. It might be a median, mean, whatever. Somewhere in that range, 35, I think it's 45,000 is the average household income. Okay, so we'll just say someone's making the average, 45,000. How can they become financially independent in 10 years? All right, I dare say they can do it. I dare say they gotta do what I did the other day. I don't have my notebook in here with me. Get your money right. Track your expenses. Sit down. It's not hard. It's not hard. If you're like me, I pay pretty much 100% of my bills either with a credit card or online, electronically. Almost, I don't use cash. Rarely do I use cash. Okay, so I track all my bills like that. So all I got to do is sit down. I can do it the last day of the month if I wanted, or I could just do it periodically throughout the month and track my expenses and my income, whatever amount of money I make. If I'm working a W-2 job, my paycheck, and maybe I work a W-2 job and I work a side gig. So any income coming in, maybe I have a birthday and somebody gives me $50, Christmas money, whatever. Just track all income, track all expenses, write it down. Either get a spreadsheet or do like I did and write it down on a piece of paper. Write down everything you spend your money on. If it's like food, just as an example, groceries, $100, McDonald's, $2.50, coffee at Starbucks, $2.25. Write everything down, track it, and look and total it up. It'll take you 30 days because you can start today on the 23rd and finish it on February 23rd. Just do it for a month. I encourage you to do it for a month after every month, but start with the first month and see what you see. I don't know what you spend your money on. I don't know if you spend it on entertainment, eating out, buying drinks, buying clothes. I don't know. We're all different. Look at what you spend your money on. Look at how much money you're making. All right. So the goal is whatever you make, spend less, and you have a difference there, a positive difference. That difference, if you don't have any money saved up, well, save that money first. But then we got to start investing. Okay. So try that. Try to get your money right first and have that work-life balance. We all have 24 hours in a day. All of us. Every single person. Okay. We all have 24 hours in a day. The average person might work a job 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week on average. Okay, some people work rotating shift work, some people work a lot of overtime, but on average, 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week is how many hours people work. So we get the same amount of time off, roughly. We all have to sleep. We all have to eat our meals. We all have family obligations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So in the course of a day, try to find 15 to 20 minutes to focus on investing. Okay, it could be looking at rental properties. It could be 15 minutes of reading a real estate related book. It could be 15 minutes of watching a YouTube channel. But if you can do 15 minutes a day, can you do 30 minutes a day? As you get more into it, can you do 30 minutes a day, or can you do an hour a day? Can you substitute watching Seinfeld and study investing, read about investing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? It's that work-life entertainment balance. We all got to figure it out. The end goal would be, and I'll say this and I'll wrap this up. If you don't like your job, but you can't give up whatever, you can't give up your house, you can't give up your vehicle, you can't give up your activity, you can't give up anything, but you really don't like your job, can't you suck it up? And I'm just using that terminology. Can't you suck it up for 10 years so you can stop working? And then you'll have all the time in the world. All right? You'll have 24 hours a day. All right? So 10 years to suck it up. Is it that hard? Can it be done? Knowing what I know now, if I could go back to being 22, let's say I'll go back to being 32. Both my boys were born when I was 32 and I was a police officer. I think, knowing what I know now, and I was only making, when I was 32 years old, I was making maybe $25,000 a year. I dare say, knowing what I know now, I could have become financially independent at 42. I might have kept working because my kids were still growing up and I wanted that, and would have been like, say, getting close to teenagers, and I might need some money to help pay their expenses. But I dare say I could have lean financial independence at a minimum within 10 years, possibly sooner. All right, so if I can do it, so can you. Okay? All right, there may be an interview this afternoon. I'm still waiting to hear back from confirmation on that, so we shall see. All right, have a great day. Enjoy Sunday. Mazske is signing out.